Installing a set of these today. This, I've already pulled one of the auxiliary lights out and swapped it out. You can see how the stock Harley lights are kind of getting a haze on them. We're going to put the new LED headlight in and auxiliaries, and it does come with a bracket. All right, let's get these in. So the customer had this light bulb out. To get these off, there's one screw here on the bottom, one Phillips. You don't even have to completely remove the screw. So then this trim just pops right off. You have the trim. You have the light, as well as this ring here. This is a locating ring. What this does is this lines up with this little dot, or this little notch here on the bottom, and these little notches here on the light. These replacement lights only have one notch, but it still works. So you just want to unplug this, and then we can swap the light out. So the nice part about this set, it already comes pre-wired. One thing to watch out for though is that you're putting it on correctly, because you want to have the DOT at the top. And then watch this plug, because this plug can get plugged in backwards. It's like a universal plug. It doesn't have the directional little notch in there. This on your plug, this is obviously the ground going into the light, so you want to make sure that you're plugging it into the ground. Wrap up the wires there so they tuck in nice. Put this trim ring back on, line it up. The nice part about some of these lights, you know, if you got it straight, there's a little notch in the light. It kind of lines up with that other notch. Nice part about it, there's a captured nut on this side. Trim ring is sitting down all the way and captured, so the light doesn't pop out. That auxiliary light's on. Now it's time for the headlight. You can see that this headlight is hazing up. Sometimes these can just fail. 2009, so it's a few years old, but this headlight is a little bit different getting off. None of these screws take off the light. So you'll tighten this, loosen this to adjust the beam. This does the up or down. Screw you need to take out to get this trim ring off is right here. And honestly guys, when you're working over this fender, I should have the cover on here, but I don't because I'm lazy. This should be a friction fit. It should just pop right off. Now that the trim ring is off, if you were just replacing this light, you would remove 3 screws and this will come out. This little ring will come out and then the headlight comes out. But this requires, the LED requires a different bucket to be in here. So we need to replace that bucket. Out of my own personal curiosity, I removed the headlight to see if this would actually fit in this bucket, and it does not. So that bucket does need to be removed because this headlight doesn't sit in here because of the cooling fins and the depth of it. It's more square, so we need to change that out. Like I said, there is 4 screws to get this out. Now would be the time to clean out all the old bugs and shit that's stuck up here before you put the new one in. So I'm going to grab a rag. So the mounting tab for the headlight trim ring is going to be on the bottom. It's just a matter of mounting this back up in here, lining up the holes. One thing I've noticed, especially from Amazon stuff or whatever, check the bag that the light came in, because this is obviously missing screws. There's something to watch for. Alright, so we need our screwdriver again. We're going to leave one loose. Now this kit does come with the plug already pre-installed. It does have a few adapters in it for different model motorcycles. Plug this thing in, DOT up. Alright, so it's sitting in there now. Okay. Okay, that's horse shit. Alright, so I'm not a fan of this kit already, just for the gap. And this bottom bracket where the screw goes in is going to have to be bent at like a 45. It is straight up and down right now, and I'm not a fan that it needs to be adjusted to fit a stock trim ring. Okay, so if you look at this bucket, you see how this is at almost maybe like a 60-degree angle. On this one here, it's at a 90, and it needs to be quite a ways up. I'm gonna have to bend it quite a ways to get it to fit with this trim ring. We were able to bend that to get it right. I don't like that once you bend it, you're creating this gap at the top. That's ugly. That's low quality garbage right there. And I don't know if my customer will like it. I mean, this is a fancy bike, and tight gap here and massive gap here. I'm gonna back you up and we're gonna turn on these lights. Let's go high beam. and we'll turn on the spots. You gotta love that it'll turn on, but it still thought it was being stolen because the key didn't get close enough. All right, that's it for that. Now it's time to take it out for a ride, and I need to get it warmed up so I can drop all 3 holes. Thanks for watching, and remember, the V Twinkie, we build it to ride.